Hello guys, in this tutorial we will learn about built-in functions in Python with the help of examples. I have divided this section into 5 classes so that will be much easier for you to understand the built-in function concepts. The Python built-in functions are defined as the functions whose functionality is predefined in Python. The Python interpreter has several functions that are always present for us. These functions are known as built-in functions. There are several built-in functions in Python which we are going to discuss further. I have split the built-in function part into 3 lessons. First, Python apps function. The Python apps function is used to return the absolute value of a number. It takes only one argument, a number whose absolute value is to be returned. The argument can be an integer and floating point number. If the argument is a complex number, then apps returns its magnitude. Let's check out this example. We'll go back to Jupyter Notebook. Right here we have functions. Now let's check with integer function, integer number, integer equal to -20. This is what I am defining. Print absolute value of -40 is. Now here we define ABS and our integer and shift enter to execute the code. Absolute value of -40 is 20. And we'll try another example for floating number. Floating is equal to -20.88. Print absolute value of minus 20.88 is ABS floating. Let's hit shift and enter to execute the code. Here you have a absolute value for minus 20.88 is 20.88. Right. And Python all function. The Python all function accepts an iterable object such as list, dictionary, etc. Returns true if all items is passed iterable or true. Otherwise, it returns false. If the iterable object is empty, the all function returns true. Right. Let's check out the example with. Go back to Jupyter Notebook and let's try the example. All values true. Let's try this. Let's take it as k is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 4 comma 6 and print all of k. Let's hit shift and enter to execute the code and we have is true. And let's check with another code. All values false. Let's say k is equal to 0 comma false. Print of all k. Hit shift and enter and now we have a false. Now let's try it on the one true value. Let's try one false value first. K is equal to 1 comma 3 comma 7 comma 0, and now print all of K. Now see what we have. We have false, so one false value. So one false value is 0. Let's try another one with one true value. That K is equal to 0 comma false comma 5. Let's say print of all of K. Now we have false. Now we'll try with empty iterable. K is equal to empty, print all of K. What we'll have is, oh sorry, it's a misspelling. Now we have a true, empty is true. Right, we'll move on to bin function, Python bin function. The Python bin function is used to return the binary representation of a specified integer. A result always starts with the prefix 0b, right? Always starts with 0b. Let's check out the example. We'll go back to Jupyter Notes and see x is equal to 10 and y is equal to bin of x, and print y. So we have 0b. You can see that the answer will be 0b. For bin functions, the answers outputs will be 0b. Right. Now, the Python bool function. The Python bool converts a value to Boolean, true or false, using the standard truth testing procedure. Let's go back to the Jupyter notebook and check out with an example. Let's see what would be the result. Test1 is equal to empty, print test1 comma is comma bool test1. This is the test1. Now I'll copy this code and let's check it. This is false. We have a result is false. Now I'll try the another one. Test1 is equal to, I'll enter 0 and let's execute this code and see what will be the result. Is true 0. Here at the first we have a empty, so is false. Second one we have a 0. So third one we'll try this. Is test1 is equal to 0 0.0. Let's see what will be the result. 0 0.0 is false. Let's try one more. Test1 is equal to none. So we try none. Let's see what would be the output. The output is none is false. So now we'll try one more is true. Test1 is equal to true. Let's hit. Sorry, we have to use the first as a capital. So true is true. Now we'll try with a string. Something text1 is equal to, we'll say easy string. Right. Let's hit shift and enter to execute the code. So easy string is true. Right. Hope this code is clear to understand. So okay. Let's move on to Python bytes. The Python bytes in Python is used for returning a bytes object. It is an immutable version of the byte array function. It can create empty bytes object of the specified size. Now, let's check with an example. We'll go back to Jupyter Note and try example. Let's say string is equal to hello world. Array is equal to bytes string comma UTF-8. Now we'll try to print array. So what I've taken string is equal to hello world array byte string UTF-8. Let's hit B, hello world. So we are looking for bytes. So we have a B, right? Now we'll move to Python callable function. What is Python callable function? A Python callable function in Python is something that can be called. This built-in function checks and returns true if the object passed appears to be callable, otherwise false. Python callable, we have an example on the screen. You can see that. We'll try that example in our Jupyter Note. X is equal to, we'll say 9, print callable of X. So what we have is false. And if I change 9 to 0, you see we have false. So if we have 1.1, we have false. This is callable function. Compile, Python compile function. The Python compile function takes source code as input and returns a code object, which can later be executed by execute exec function. Right, exec function. Let's try this in our code. We'll go back to Jupyter Note and let's see callable Python compile function. Code str is equal to x is equal to 5 slash n, y is equal to n slash n, print sum is equal to comma x plus 5. Right. Now in our second line we'll type code is equal to compile code underscore str comma sum dot py comma e exec. Now print type code exec code. Let's hit shift and enter to execute the code. Now here what we have the answer. Class code sum is equal to 15. How come sum is equal to 15? X is equal to 5 and y is equal to 10. We are asking for x plus y. 10 plus 5 is 15. The class is code. So we are using the code. Alright. Now we'll go to exe function. The Python exe function is used for the dynamic execution of Python program, which can either be a string or object code, and it accepts large blocks of code, unlike the evolve function, which only accepts a single expression. So let's get to an example of exe before we move to other. Now Python exe function example. If x is equal to 8, exe of print x equal to 8, exe of print x plus 4. Let's hit shift and enter, and the first execution was true because we have given x is equal to 8, and the second execution print x plus 4 is equal to 8 plus 4, that is 2, 12. Right, we'll go back to our next function, that is Python sum. As the name says, Python sum function is used to get the sum of numbers of an iterable that is least. The syntax of the sum function is sum iterable start. The sum function adds start and items of the given iterable from left to right. The sum parameters iterable, least, tuple, dictionary, etc. The items of the iterable should be numbers. Start, this is an optional. This value is added to the sum of items of the iterable. The default value of a start is 0 if omitted. Let's go to next, Python any function. The Python any function returns true or true if any item in an iterable is true. Otherwise, it returns false. Let's check this an example. This any function. We'll go back to Jupyter Notebook and we'll try with Python any function example. Let's say I is equal to 4 comma 3 2 comma 3 comma 0 and print of any of I. See, what we have is true. And we'll try another one. I is equal to 0 comma false, and I'll copy this because we need this code only. So execute. What we have is name false, false. Sorry, I got to use the f and capped f. Now execute the code. Now we have false. Now what we do is we use one true item here. I'll copy that complete code, and next to the false I'm going to add a integer. Let's try this. So we have one integer, so it says true. Now we'll try an empty string. So we don't have anything, that is an empty, and let's see what would be the result for this. Empty string is false. Right, we'll move on to next Python function, that is Ascii function. The Python Ascii function returns a string containing a printable representation of an object and escapes the non-ASCII characters in the string using /x/u or /U escapes. Let's try this in another example so that you guys can understand. Right, this is our Python ASCII function. Normal text is equal to Python programming by Amir. Print ASCII normal test. Let's try to print this, see what will happen. Excuse me, there's a spelling mistake. You have to be very careful with spellings now. So we have ASCII. Let's try with another one. Print p y t h slash xf6n is interesting. Let's see this. So we have Python is INTRESTA. Okay, interesting, right? So hope you guys understood the functions. This was our first function class. So I'll end up this session here. We'll move on to next class with other functions. Hope you guys had enjoyed my class. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.